Salt pool spring opening. Found you online. Opened my pool a week and a half ago. I don't have enough salt in the pool yet, but I was under the impression that adding salt before the water reaches a certain temperature doesn't do any good because the cell can't start the chemical reaction. For this reason, as soon as the pool is open, I shock it, put 3 chlorine pucks in the skimmer, clean it, and a week later have the water tested. Ouch, right there, that. Please don't put chlorine pucks in your skimmer ever, especially if you have a chlorine generator. Rest of the question. Water looks good. People told me what I already knew. My salt level is too low. They want me to add 5 bags this week and 5 next week. I added 1 bag because I thought it was too early. The salt didn't dissolve. It's been 1.5 days. I've gone out and brushed the pool bottom 3 times to get it off the liner and promote circulation. 2 theories on why it's not dissolving. Water temperature isn't high enough, or I should have really put all 5 bags in so the salt cell can detect enough salt to turn on and do its thing. I don't want to put in more bags because I was afraid of damaging the liner, which I had replaced 2 years ago. Because the salt's not doing its thing, I shocked it again on Saturday and added another couple pucks to the skimmer. Water still looks great, just currently not operating as a salt pool. All right, so
Okay.
please address the...
I'll address all of it. I got it.
Yes.
Okay. So first thing first. Salt water, depending on the system you have, it activates at a certain temperature. So while you're correct in that adding the salt doesn't help you initially, because the system can't do anything until the water warms up, I am a proponent of getting the salt in sooner versus later. Get it in, let it get dissolved. With the water cold, it's certainly going to take longer to dissolve. You're simply going to have to do more work. You're going to have to keep brushing it and keep moving it. But I would get it dissolved. And the reason being, as soon as the water is warm enough, the system can start working, and it will. Adding chlorine, not a problem. You probably should do that in the spring anyway. However, what she was alluding to and asking the question is, I would never suggest you put chlorine pucks in the skimmer. Again, sure, water's flowing through there, it's going to dissolve. Yes, that's all fine and great. The problem with that is you're running that through your system, and you're running that directly through, if you have a heater, through the heater, which is going to tear up the heater, and through the salt system, which is going to damage the plates. So if you look on the inside of the cell, you have all those titanium plates, and that's what creates the chlorine gas as the water passes through there. Well, strong chlorine is not going to be good for those plates, and they will not last as long. What I would prefer you do, instead of trying to put a puck in the skimmer or in the pump basket of the pump, is get a floater and let it float around the pool. They all have different ways of adjusting how much chlorine they let out, but I would just get a floater, a shark floater, and let the shark float around in the pool, or a turtle or whatever. That's going to be a better route in terms of not damaging the equipment. Here you are trying to preserve the equipment on the front side, and yet your behavior is actually going to damage the equipment as time goes on. So put the salt in. It might take longer to dissolve. I get it. Will not harm the liner unless you leave it sitting on there for weeks at a time. But if it's there overnight and you brush it 3 times every day until it dissolves, to me that's the best route, because now it's dispersed throughout all of the pool, and then the minute it warms up enough, the system can kick on and do its work.